Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. It is indeed a pleasure to have opportunity to exchange insight and knowledge with all of you. Today, I'm delighted to share a comprehensive overview of my mapping applied to the field of corporate finance. The lecture on corporate finance, delivered by Professor Roy Semble during the MBA class at IPNI International Business School, proved to be a captivating and insightful experience. Professor Semble taught in a way that made easy to connect theoretical ideas with real-life examples. This made the classes not just interesting for the mind, but also a lot of fun. This is our learning content in corporate finance. There are 6 interesting topics, will be explained in a simple way, but easy to understand, the key point for us. It will be started from introduction of finance, capital budget, analysis of securities, capital structure, fraud risk management, and the last one is dividend policy. Then, what is the definition of financial management? Let's see this picture and imagine. The financial management definition is optimal orchestration of internal and external financial resources towards significant and sustainable value creation. The activities in this orchestra should be structured, integrated, linked, and synergized, as well as well managed to achieve the end goal. And then, what is the corporate finance itself? It is knowledge and analytical skill in financial management from a management perspective as internal and an investor perspective as external. As we can see on this picture, there are 5 elements that we will discuss when we do financial management decision. First, what to be managed. Second, core of value principles. Third, financial analysis tools and method. Fourth, opportunity to create financial value. And fifth, structured way of thinking. Let's see this framework to make easier understanding of overall image of financial management. As a unified set of knowledge and capabilities required in corporate finance or financial management, these all elements are closely interrelated. But please don't forget, in financial management, numbers and figures are important, but the story and the people behind the number are also important. As a context of corporate finance, when we doing the financial management, we should consider 2 side perspective. First side is management's perspective. Second side is investor's perspective. This is the image of key point from both of those perspectives. As a management of a firm, it really sure that we need to know the goal. However, there are many problems that happen between shareholder and management. It usually called principal-agent problem. There are 3 conditions can generate this problem. First is conflict of interest. Second, asymmetric information. Third is moral hazard. Those conditions will result the adverse selection. It means by this situation will make all in the market are only bad product, or bad price, or bad company, or other bad things. Finally, the market only have the bad one while the good one will exit the market. Then the market will be breakdown. A countermeasure has been considered to solve this principal agent problem, but only one cannot solve it. Therefore, several solutions are necessary, such as first, make good compensation for managers. Second, stock option. Third, fire the managers who do not perform well. Fourth, take over. And the last one is GCG implementation, where GCG has principal abbreviation tariff. We need to understand we cannot eliminate the problem, but at least we can try to reduce them. Next, we will see one of important factor of financial management in this framework. It is core of value principle. There are several sources of value principle we learn in this course. First, triple bottom line or 3P. Second, 4 cornerstones of corporate finance. Third, business essential from Ram Charan, who is recognized for his expertise in business strategy, leadership, and corporate governance. Next, we will learn about tools and analysis method for financial management decision. We have several methods and will be discussed more in capital budgeting. In capital budgeting, usually apply time value of money concept. It is a fundamental concept in finance that recognizes the idea that a sum of money has a different value today compared to its value in the future. This principle is based on the premise that a rational investor will prefer to receive a certain amount of money today rather than the same amount in the future. Furthermore, we can see other applications for time value of money. There is also a unique and simple formula in finance that provides an estimate of how long it will take for an investment to double in value, given a fixed annual rate of return. It is called the rule of 72. As one of concepts that use TVM application, there are several calculation methods that using for feasibility of the investment, such as payback period, net present value, profitability index, and internal rate of return. All the last 3 methods above consider all cash flow, time value of money, and required rate of return, except the payback period. Discussion about analysis of securities, we can follow the fundamental and technical analysis. These 2 analysis methods are applied to see more deeply the stock return condition and expectation by consider the risk factor. In fundamental analysis, we must understand the situation of domestic and global economy, doing industry analysis and also company's performance analysis. In other method, technical analysis expect us to understand the evaluating securities by analyzing statistics generated by market activity, such as historical prices and trading volumes. It primarily focuses on charts and patterns to predict future price movement, which shown in picture. Meanwhile, we need to understand also about market risk management. One of the methods commonly used is Capital Asset Pricing Model or CAPM. We will able to see linear relationship between expected return on investment and its systematic risk as measured by data above the risk-free rate. Next topic discussion is capital structure. In this topic, we will understand how a company chooses to finance its overall operations and growth by mix of a company's financing sources, specifically the proportion of debt and equity. The capital structure decision is crucial for a company as it affects its cost of capital, financial risk, and overall financial health. Incorrect decision and mismanagement can create a financial distress. Financial distress can occur when a company experiences a significant decline in its financial health, making it challenging to cover its debt obligation, operational costs, and other financial commitments. The financial distress is started from early impairment until finally bankruptcy. When it happens, we need to consider and decide the surviving and transforming business action. At this time, we can also take key lessons learned from interesting RJR Nabisco case study. Next, we will discuss about fraud risk management. In financial management decision, there is a potential risk of fraudulent activity within an organization. Fraud hexagonal model by Georgios Fousinas. The element that cause fraud there are stimulus, capability, opportunity, rationalization, and ego, as well as the latest element, namely pollution. This kind of fraud that potential to be happen is corruption, asset misappropriation, and fraudulent statement. To solve the problem, we can consider the solution below, such as employee ethic, SOP for fraud handling, IT security, and other system. And the last one is whistleblowing system. The last topic we will discuss is dividend policy. In financial management decision, there is pro and contra about should publicly listed companies pay dividend. It's sometimes considered that the dividend will be retained for financing profitable capital investment or paying dividend to investor. There is a reason that dividends should be distributed to investors because stockholders receive an immediate cash reward for investing. Meanwhile, if the dividend will be retained, stockholders cannot get real benefit because just a report and there is potential of financial shenanigans happen. On top of that, we need to consider that dividend policy really involves two decisions. First, how much of firm's earnings should be distributed to shareholders as dividend, and the second, how much should be retained for capital investment. Finally, this is the end of our discussion. Hopefully, this sharing can enrich our knowledge and provide many benefits for us. Thank you for watching and please like and subscribe to this channel. See you on next time.